You just heard the law enforcement perspective. We have a personal testimony. This gentleman is a law enforcement officer. He is Chief Mike Adams with the Morehead Police Department.
I'd like to say how much of a privilege it is to be here today and being asked to be here. I wish that the only reason I was here was to say how the Morehead Police Department was going to be participating and how much we agree with this endeavor, which we do, but unfortunately that's not the only reason I'm here. See, no one is immune from the tragedy that is impaired driving. My family, too, is a victim of impaired drivers. My mother, my father died when I was in high school, and my mother continued raising both me and my two younger sisters, put us through high school and college. And she was a special lady. She was a school teacher at East Carter High School here in Grayson, just a few miles down the road from here. She was a special lady. On June 2nd, 2004, she had asked my sons, Skyler, who was 13 at the time, and Nathan, who was 17 at the time, if they would like to go to church with her that evening. It's a Wednesday evening. And they had my son Skyler had decided to go with her. So I just lived just down the road there, a piece from her. And she had come by about 15 or so minutes before 7 to pick up Skyler on that Wednesday evening. At that same time, there was a gentleman that had decided to come into Morehead on US 60. Our church was about 4 or 5 miles outside of Morehead west on US 60. As she was heading to church, as her and Skyler were heading to church, this gentleman, who had a .13 BAC level, decided that he'd come in toward Morehead. He was driving extremely fast and very erratic. It generated 2 911 phone calls as to his reckless driving, dangerous driving. He never had a driver's license, did not have any insurance on his vehicle that he did not own. And as my mother and son approached the church there, in a no passing zone, this gentleman decided to pass at a very high rate of speed a tractor trailer. And my mother tried to get out of the way, but she was unable to. The vehicle driven by the other gentleman, the intoxicated gentleman, struck my mother nearly head on. The impact of the collisions caused the vehicle to spin around, face back in the direction that it came from, and land up on its passenger side with my mother trapped on top of my son there in the wreckage. The DUI driver bounced off and hit the semi-truck and remained in the road. A fine gentleman in our community, former football coach at Morehead State in Brown County, Coach Bill Baldridge, was one of the first ones there. He heard my son screams for help from the car. He ran up and he attempted to help, and he told us later that my mother, who was up on her side, both of them were wearing seatbelts, that she looked up as if to say, help my grandson, and she closed her eyes and died right there in the crash. They had to cut out my mother and my son out of the car. My son was airlifted to UK. He suffered dislocated hip, busted spleen, hurt rotator cuff, and broken bones or two. But thank God he's all right now. He's attending Morehead State University. Completed playing baseball and stuff around county in his high school year, but it took him about a year to get back online. But my mother and that drunk driver, 2 needless deaths, all because someone made a very poor and illegal decision. There'll be no more Labor Day get-togethers at my mom's house, Thanksgiving or Christmas get-togethers, all because of a drunk driver. So I encourage each and every one of us to do whatever within our power to eliminate this tragedy from off our roads. If you're just a regular citizen, what can I do? Just don't do it yourself. Don't drink and drive, at the very least. And then, of course, attempt to keep your friends and family from doing so. If you're in law enforcement, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but we need to make sure we crack down and make these arrests. Prosecutors, you need to prosecute. Judges and juries, you need to send a message that we don't want this on our roadways. And whatever we can do, let's do it like our families' lives depend on it, because I can assure you that they do.
Thank you, Chief. I want to see you raise your hands if this has affected you. Have any of you been affected in any way, shape, or form with a drunk driving crash? Anybody? Just raise your hand if you have. Several of you. May have been family members, friends, loved ones. It's not a victimless crime. You just heard the chief talking about how it related to his family and how they can no longer have family get-togethers without those loved ones there. It is not a victimless crime. The Kentucky Office of Highway Safety promotes this program every year and works very, very closely with law enforcement throughout the state to keep drunk drivers off the road. If someone wants to drink, well, that's their choice. But please do not get in a motor vehicle if you've even had one drink, because the consequences are so great. You may kill yourself. You may kill someone else. It affects people's lives. These gentlemen behind me are here to make sure that people's lives are saved, that they don't lose life. That's what our office promotes every day. It's not worth the risk. If you decide to drink, always plan ahead and have a designated driver. For others on the road, make sure you wear your safety belt, because the safety belt is your number one defense against a drunk driver. So thank you for coming, and please remember, in Kentucky, if you are over the limit, you will be under arrest. Thank you.